The assassins seem to be three Muslim males from Uzbekistan, along with a bigger team, and they've been following this Jewish Chabad rabbi. Now, further, we know that they got arrested in Turkey by the Turkish Secret Service. Abu Dhabi is going the extra mile to show how firmly and strongly they stand against anti-Semitism. Guys, this is a Muslim country. So a Jewish rabbi was brutally kidnapped and assassinated by a team of semi or professional assassins in Abu Dhabi. Now, the reason that I'm saying semi or professional assassins is because it doesn't seem to be like the typical anti-Semitism assaults that we're used to seeing in the streets of Europe, where a radical Muslim will just run in the streets, chant Allahu Akbar and start stabbing Jews or running people with his car, or like we saw in Amsterdam with the Muslim Uber drivers going around and assaulting the Jews. From the reports from Abu Dhabi, the assassins seem to be three Muslim males from Uzbekistan, along with a bigger team, and they've been following this Jewish Chabad rabbi in the streets of Abu Dhabi for several days, learning his habits, learning his patterns, learning his weaknesses, learning his strength, so they can better plan this assault. As per the report, they seem to have jumped him when he was not too far from his home, took him inside his own car, drove him to another town. Apparently, they've murdered him inside the car. There's signs of struggles where he was trying to fight for his life inside the car. Now, further, we know that they got arrested in Turkey by the Turkish Secret Service as per the demand from Abu Dhabi. You need to understand, Abu Dhabi is one of the most CCTV covered places on the face of this earth. There's literally a camera covering every street, and they take their safety and security very seriously, as we're going to be hearing right now. So as per their demands and negotiation with Turkey, Turkey have helped them to go and capture these terrorists, the assassins, and hand them back to Abu Dhabi. And they just published the pictures of all three. Their name is Olimpi Tohirovic, 28 years old, Mahmoud John Abdul Rahim, John, 28 years old, and Aziz Bak Kamilovic. They were handcuffed, their eyes were covered, and Abu Dhabi have made a clear statement that they're going to be dealing with this in the harshest way. People are talking about execution, punishment of death, as a show of strength and a show of how serious Abu Dhabi, the Emirates, is taking any acts of violence in their territory. Now, this is the first time that I'm so impressed of a Muslim country since maybe the 80s that I can look at them and say, wow, they're dealing with this in the most dignified and respectful way. You know, in the 80s, you used to have Egypt, which had a lot of pride, and they were dignified. You used to have countries like Lebanon, which was more Christian then, but still, and there were quite a lot of Muslim countries that showed this respect and this restraint and this honor. That kind of got lost with what Obama liked to call the Arab Spring, which ended up being the Arab Winter, and it led these countries to become radical Muslim Brotherhood terrorist nests, glorifying death and praising pretty much every single crime, under the sun, from abusing women all the way to supporting terrorism and glorifying the killing of Jews. And all the way into Europe, a lot of the Muslim communities in Europe starting also endorsing that Muslim Brotherhood, which is damaging and devastating. However, now we're seeing a new era coming, and I really hope it's going to catch, and I really hope it's going to be contagious to the other Muslim countries. An era where it's saying we as Muslims refuse this path of death and destruction of racism, of anti-Semitism, and we endorse the future. We want to move towards the future. We want to share some of the Western values as our Western countries' neighbors, and together make this world a safer and more tolerant and more beautiful place for everyone. Now, we're going to talk about it soon, about the path that the Emirates are choosing and the path Turkey is choosing and the repercussion for both of these countries. But with that said and done, what happened to Zvi is very concerning. We are waking up to a reality in the world where Muslims, radical Muslims, are feeling empowered and safe to go and hunt the Jews all around the world. We've seen that with the Uber drivers, the radical Muslim Uber drivers in Amsterdam. We're seeing that right now in Abu Dhabi. And it breaks my heart to say that, but we're probably going to see that even more because Europe is still now waking up. That is the interesting thing about Europe. They have opened their gates, fully open, to radical Muslims who want to come and destroy them. You see, few generations back, some of their ancestors, big Templars and Knights, went and fought bravely to defend Europe from the invasion of the Muslim conquerors and gave their life fighting few against many, holding these castles in the most heroic way, and sometimes just so their grandchildren can open the door again to the same radical Islam and tell them, come in, come and destroy us. We know that you don't believe in our ways. We know that you hate our ways. And we know that you want to come and take advantage of our ways, but we're completely fine with that because we are so tolerant and liberal, not like our ancestors who were idiots. We are way smarter. Come and destroy our way of life. They will be rolling in their grave if they would have seen what is happening now. But that brings me to the point that Jewish people living right now in Europe, some places in America, in Western countries, need to start taking their safety and security more seriously. Need to start not relying on the good kindness of their neighbors or of the police to be the one to hold the line and protect them, because we've seen what happened in Amsterdam, we've seen what happened in Nazi Germany. The neighbors were the one ratting the Jews out. And the Jews should start, and Israelis in general, should start taking their safety very seriously. In my last video, I spoke about an app that I recommended that helps you in a click of a button to send a beacon of distress with your location so your friends can find where you are and can share that with law enforcement. I just tried it when I was driving the bike this morning. I just pressed the button. I'm on the bike. Let's see if it's gonna work. Bam! It just sent notification to all my contact list. Called them, woke them up. They replied back to me immediately and gave them my location. So I wanted us to try that. But in general, that's one tip that can help save your life and make you more safe. And I'm gonna make a whole video about that, giving some tips from my time in the service, in the special forces, of how to better handle stalkers, assassins, how to survive a riot, demonstration, all these things. But one very good tip, guys, is when you're walking in the streets, especially right now if you're outside of Israel, don't be on your phone. Don't have headphones on. Have some kind of a general security awareness for your surroundings so you're not being surprised or jumped. And if you're going to work or going back to your home, try to go on different routes. Make it a scenery. Don't make it paranoia. Don't sit with newspapers and two holes and like Inspector Gadget, okay? But in general, just try to be more cautious about how you walk, where you go. Try to change some directions. Check some new neighborhoods, new routes that you never walked before. Make it more interesting. But that makes it a little bit harder to track you, to follow you, to learn your patterns. And just these simple actions can drastically decrease your chance of being jumped, assaulted. But like I said, I'm gonna make a whole video about that. And it saddens me to say that we need that nowadays, but I feel like it's very needed, especially for my Jewish brothers and sisters. I speak Arabic. For me, it might be, even though I'm an Israeli and I'm an Arab Israeli, I still feel a bit unsafe when people know that I'm an Israeli because there's so much anti-Semitism and radicalism here. But still, I can speak Arabic. I can kind of sense how things are shifting. That's safe, not safe. These people, they're my friends, not my friends. But many Jews around the world might not speak the language or know the culture, and I feel like it's very important. That's why I want to make a video for them, so stay tuned. Once I finish building my son a bed, I'm doing these videos in between building the beds. So once I finish, I'm going to jump right on that train and start making more educational videos to help keep people more safe and secure. Abu Dhabi is going the extra mile to show how firmly and strongly they stand against anti-Semitism. Guys, this is a Muslim country. Unheard of. We got so used to seeing Muslims chanting and celebrating the death of the Jews or the Christians, going in the streets giving baklawa and knafe, chanting Allahu Akbar. We've seen that in the streets of Europe. We're seeing that obviously in the streets of many Muslim countries. We're seeing that in the streets of the United States. On October 7 happening, 9/11. But that is radical Islam, that is Muslim Brotherhood. And now we're seeing a beacon of hope coming from the Muslim world, a country that is setting a new tone and saying we are not like these radicals. We do not celebrate death. We do not celebrate anti-Semitism or racism. Let's read some of the statements that were made by officials from that country. So the first is the statement of the UAE ambassador to the United States, Yusuf Al-Utaiba. Yusuf Al-Utaiba. Today, the UAE mourns for Rabbi Zvi Kogan. Our thoughts are with his family, friends, and community over his senseless death. Zvi Kogan's murder was more than a crime in the UAE. It was a crime against the UAE. It was an attack on our homeland, on our values, and on our vision. Again, the murdering of a Jew, instead of bringing celebrations in the streets and all kind of leaders jumping and endorsing that to strengthen their political grip over the radical Muslims, we're seeing them coming and dealing with it just like any Western country or democracy should be dealing with any crime, any hate crime, any act of racism or aggression. In the UAE, we welcome everyone. We embrace peaceful coexistence. We reject extremism and fanaticism of every kind. We honor Zvi Kogan's memory, recommitting ourselves to these values. They're honoring the memory of a Jewish, Israeli, Moldovan rabbi, a Chabad rabbi. How beautiful that is. Now we are more determined than ever to protecting and sustaining the Emirates as a shining and enduring example of diversity, acceptance, and peace. Wow, this is beautiful. Why aren't other Muslim countries following suit? And I sure hope they do. You know, let's hold that thought. Let's read a few more of some of the official statements that were made. This is a statement of Amjad Taha, our dear beloved Amjad Taha. My Zvi Kogan, Moldovan and esteemed Israeli rabbi, rest in peace. Those who committed these crimes will be brought to justice, even if they escape to the planet Mars. My country, the UAE, renowned for its unwavering commitment to justice, will ensure that they are held accountable. Justice will be served sooner than expected. Oh, he was so right. Our hearts and prayers are with the family. Any form of crime, including anti-Semitism, will not be tolerated or accepted in our region. Again, a Muslim country endorsing the line that is no crime is accepted, no anti-Semitism is accepted. We are standing on peaceful values of coexistence and tolerance. That is very rare nowadays, and that is beautiful and inspiring. Let's hear another inspiring message by our beloved Lu'ay El Sharif. I've been talking to him now and then since I got to know the guy. Very impressive guy. I haven't met him in real life yet, but he was one of the first religious Muslim men that showed how much appreciation and love and respect he have towards the Jewish culture, which is again a voice that we need to amplify nowadays rather than push down like social media has been doing to many of us, Instagram especially or TikTok, trying to silence Arabs who are just showing how much they support and love the Jewish people and how much they want to promote coexistence. It's quite crazy, like I said in some of my videos. I've had videos of me sitting with my mom rolling vine leaf and talking about peace, being silenced, and said that they're going to be deleting my content, my account, because I'm going against their guidelines. Crazy. But anyway, the UAE condoles the family of our dear brother Zvi Kogan, a Moldovan Israeli citizen. The UAE also expresses its gratitude to Turkey for extraditing the criminal and reaffirm its commitment to tolerance, coexistence, and security for all. May God avenge his blood. That is very Muslim. I love that. Not that I like vengeance, but you know, they know how to call things as they are. Some really evil assassins, radical Muslims came and murdered brutally a Jewish man that had a family, a rabbi in Chabad. I don't know if you guys know Chabad, but I've had such fond memories from Chabad. Traveling around the world, I got to visit several Chabad places. They have them scattered all around the globe almost. And they are so welcoming. Even me as an Arab, they never cared that I'm an Arab and not a Jew. They always opened the door for me and gave me the beloved, yummy Israeli food and made me feel at home. Their whole idea is to create these hubs of Jewish traditions and religions around the world where Jewish people can come and connect to the religion and be connected to Israel and have a kiddush together and do the Jewish prayers together. Beautiful, beautiful, lovely community. And my condolences to the Chabad community and to the family of Zvi. May he rest in peace and may his name be written in the book of life. Let's talk about the big elephant in the room. We have Abu Dhabi and we have Turkey. And we're seeing a clear path that each country is choosing. Choose your path. And that path is going to bring very direct results to these countries. Now, Abu Dhabi is choosing the path of tolerance, coexistence, peace, standing against anti-Semitism, standing against the murdering of the Jews, standing against destroying the West, and rather embracing the West and saying, let's live together in coexistence. And you will see the blessing that we'll get, that we're going to get more Westerners coming to their countries, more Western countries bringing their technology, their science, sharing with each other the wealth and the richness and the wisdom and the intelligence that they have, and is going to bring a blessing to these countries. Turkey, on the other hand, have chose to endorse October 7th, to endorse Hamas, to endorse radical terrorism from the beginning of this war. And surprise, surprise, where do all the terrorists want to run when they're doing some terrible things? Into Turkey, because they feel like they share the same values. Turkey was the only country that accepted The leaders of Hamas, after Trump was elected, a lot of the Muslim world kind of calmed down and said, okay guys, show is over. Mr. Biden and the Democrats, who gave us pretty much a clear, open card to do all kind of radical stuff around the world without any repercussion, this show is over. Trump is back in power and he wants us to kick the Hamas people out of here. So Qatar decided to kick them out. And who took them? Turkey. Who decided to stand inside with Hamas? Turkey. Who decided to say that October 7 never happened and blamed Israel for it? Turkey. And surprise, surprise, what is Turkey getting right now? A lot of the Westerners, a lot of the science, a lot of the high-tech is leaving Turkey. And who are they getting instead? All kind of Uzbekistanian assassins, radical Muslims from all over the world coming there, and also through there going into Europe. Even Germany decided recently to stop the control of the Turkish education system over the imams in Germany. They used to be the ones that will train the imams for the official government mosques in Germany for the Muslims, and they will audit them. But Germany came and found out that they were promoting such anti-Semitism and radicalization that they said, okay, Turkey, you're out. We do it. As the government, as Germany, we come and we audit them and we make sure that they follow the law and that they tolerate every life and that they're not promoting the death of Jews and anti-Semitism. Choose your path. Are you going to go the same path like Turkey? Which saddens me to say, I have great Turkish friends, but seeing how their government is going, it breaks my heart, and that's why it became a very unsafe place for Jews. In general, every place in the world that becomes unsafe for Jews ends up collapsing, ends up bankrupting morally, economy, security, and safety, because it's the same kind of spirit that Nazism had, that anti-Semitism had, that radical Islam had. It's a very evil spirit, and when you have people that are just evil, no wonder that everything around them looks like evil. But until then, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, feel free to do the whole shebang, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. And if you want to find a direct way to help my channel grow and to help me keep doing these videos for you, go and check my Patreon, where you can find practical ways to support me. After all, I am doing this for free and out of my own free time, and this has become my main source of income. So by visiting my Patreon, you can find a direct way that fits for you, that you can help me keep doing this work. But until then, guys, don't do anything stupid. In general, choose the paths in your life wisely. Be like Abu Dhabi, don't be like Turkey. Choose the path that brings love, tolerance, coexistence, and not the path that celebrates death. Friendly tip, you're gonna love it. So stay safe and see you next time. Gosh, I love this Snoopy.